the redemption is really coming.
Now tell me, when you were there was no concept of time. How can you estimate the concept of time? What is imminent? Is it 20 years, 2 years, a month?
Imminent is right away, like in the coming months.
In the coming months, okay. In the coming months, okay. Now, do you also know what will happen?
Yes, I know what is going to happen. Yes.
And you know it from there?
Yes, only from there. Everything I know is only from there.
And where are we holding right now?
Where are we holding now? In a period, not a good one at all. I can tell you that the redemption is very close to here.
And what will happen during that redemption?
Very bad things are going to happen, but it depends on who, as far as I know. It is certain it will occur in the coming months. There is that possibility. If we all repent, then it won't happen.
The bad things in the redemption won't happen.
The bad things.
But the redemption will arrive.
The redemption will arrive. Yes, but if they sin, the redemption will be worse.
If they sin, it will come to pass much more harshly.
Much more difficult.
And if everybody repents, it will come to pass in an easy way.
It's going to happen no matter what.
Now, according to what you know there, what you saw there, how is it going to happen?
Based on what I knew, right now our situation is not good at all. I mean, not good.
What's going to happen?
It's going to be a very big war, and everybody, the whole world will be in that war, based on what I learned. The whole world will be in that war. Everybody, all the Gentiles, all the Arabs, everybody will be against Israel and will fight in that war.
How will it begin?
It will be started by somebody named Gog. As far as I knew up there, only up there.
He is called Gog?
Yes.
And do you know who this Gog is?
I am sure I know who it is.
Who is it?
Obama. President Obama.
He will start Gog and Magog?
He will be the one who starts that war. He will bring his whole army. He will start the war here.
And he'll fight against us?
He'll fight against us. At first, everyone will just want Israel. Jerusalem, Israel. Everyone will want it.
Jerusalem?
Jerusalem, yes. Everyone will want it. The whole world. They won't care about us. They will just want Jerusalem. Everyone will fight against each other because they want it. Not long at all. All of the bad things will take 2 weeks.
All of the bad things will take 2 weeks. What will happen during those 2 weeks? What are the bad things?
In those 2 weeks, what is the bad thing? More than a few million people will die. They will die like the only thing that saves them is if they repent. If a person learns the Torah and does good, that's what will save him.
It says in the Gemara, when they asked Rabbi Hagedal, what can a person do to save himself from the birth pangs of Messiah? Rabbi Hagedal answered, he should occupy himself with the Torah and acts of kindness. That's what will save him. Now tell me, what is this? What kind of war is this? A spiritual war?
No.
A war of soldiers against soldiers? What is it?
Partly. At first it will be a war between soldiers. The whole world will just come, just at first. All the Gentiles will battle each other and will want Israel. In the end, what will happen is this. Everyone will unite and fight against us. Fight against Israel. And many Israelites will die. Millions will die. A ton of people will die.
Those who didn't keep the Torah and good deeds?
They will die.
And those who did keep the Torah and good deeds?
Those who kept the Torah and do good deeds, it depends if they learned the Torah and did good deeds. There are those who observe but don't really care about it. They are loose about it. But if someone is really strict and studies the Torah and does good deeds, he will be saved.
How will he be saved?
He will be saved. What will happen is like this. Based on what I saw up there...
What do you mean what you saw? Did you see it like a movie of the future?
Yeah, like a movie of the future. I see it in a movie of the future. You see it in a few seconds, but it's lots and lots of time. Like the movie of my life, I saw it first. They showed me my life in a split second. Like in a fraction of a second, they showed it to me. And I saw every single second of my life. When I was a baby, when I was a little boy, I saw it all.
Now let's move forward. You saw a movie.
I saw a movie.
Let's call it a movie of the future, of what's going to be.
Yes. I saw everyone attacking Israel and came against us and fought against us. The IDF will hold them off for 2 days. Then everyone will just kill us and we won't have anyone to help but God. And then, suddenly...
Wait. This war, the IDF will hold for only 2 days?
2 days.
And after 2 days?
We'll be finished by then.
No IDF?
No IDF.
So everything is open.
Everything is open.
So when you say that Gog is Obama, Obama is the United States, you say that he will lead
He will lead the whole war.
and who will join him?
Who will join him? Iran will join him. The UN. The whole UN.
Russia?
Yes, Russia, South Korea, the whole UN. Really, everyone. Everyone. All 70 nations will rise against us. 70.
Where is ISIS in all this?
ISIS, this is what I saw. They will kidnap people. They will just kidnap people.
They will kidnap our people?
Yes, like they did to Gilad Shalit. They will also do that. They will kidnap people and torture them and things like that. For now, what I also saw is that the Mount of Olives next to Jerusalem, for those who are saved, that mountain will split in two. And when the mountain splits, that very second, the Messiah will be revealed to everyone. Everyone will just see that it's the Messiah. We will know it's the Messiah. Here he is, revealed to everyone. He will stand at the entrance of the Mount of Olives, and he will say who can enter and who cannot enter. Anyone who is not saved will stay outside and die, and anyone who is worthy will be saved. You have to know what he will be saved from. So the mountain just opens, and also...
Now it opens. It opens?
It splits in two.
Something like
No.
an earthquake?
No.
A nuclear bomb? What?
No, they will rise up. You know how on the Mount of Olives there are graves, right? So 2 of the dead people will walk out. 2 dead people will come back to life. 1 from here and 1 from there. It will split in 2. That's how it will happen. And what I saw is that the Messiah is someone who can't sin. Someone with no sin. Someone who never sinned.
He is someone who repented?
Yes, he never sinned. He had never committed any sins. He is without sin. He didn't commit even 1 sin. It can't be that the Messiah is someone who sinned. It can be someone who we know very well. Lots and lots of people know him based on what I knew. But everyone will be very, very surprised that he, of all people, is the Messiah. Also, now, the Messiah, he will fight against Obama. And not only that, he will kill him and bury him in Israel. And I saw that. Yes, he will be buried in Israel. And I saw that when the Mount of Olives split in 2, then Messiah will stand at the opening. But he won't care who is religious, who has a beard, who a person is. He sees a person's holiness. He will smell each person. He will smell if someone is holy, if he is pure, if he did good deeds, if he is kind, to see if he has true fear of heaven and not just afraid of punishment and things like that. He won't say, "Here you are, you have a hat, you can go in." It's not like that. He will have power to feel what is truly inside every person.
Nathan, I ask you once again, you know all this from up there.
I know all of it from there.
A week ago, you didn't know any of this.
I didn't know these things. I didn't know. I had no idea. Nothing.
No, he didn't. He is not a Jewish school student. Wait 1 second. I just want to say something here. Look at what he is saying, and look. He says that Gog is Obama, and that Gog, Obama, will fall here in Israel. And God will give Obama a grave here in Israel.
Here in Israel.
So Ezekiel the prophet says, on that day I will give Gog a burial place in Israel.
That's exactly what they said to me. Exactly.
Ezekiel.
Exactly the same thing.
And you say that the Mount of Olives will split.
The Mount of Olives will split in 2.
So Zechariah the prophet says, then shall the Lord go forth and fight against those nations, and his feet shall stand in that day on the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem on the east. And the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof.
Is that really what is written?
Yes, Zechariah the prophet.
That's exactly what I saw.
Zechariah the prophet, he was a long time ago.
That is exactly what will happen if things stay as they are. If the world keeps on like this, that is what will happen, for sure.
Now, a woman asked a good question, and I also want to ask, how will we know when it starts?
It will start with a boom. First of all, it has already started.
It has started?
As far as I could see, it has started. It started on September 11th, 2015. It has already started.
On the 27th of Elul last year in 5775.
This year, yes. Last Hebrew year.
We are in 5776, so it started last year, 3 days before Rosh Hashanah. Gog and Magog started.
Yes, that war has already started.
So why don't we sense anything?
Because God won't bring it at first. What will happen one certain day, it will just erupt. Something will set off, and it will just erupt. All of the news channels, everything. Everyone will say, World War III has started. Everyone will just know. That's it. There is no time. And everyone will know that God has caused this event.
You mean that there will be a security incident?
Yes.
And that causes everything to go out of control?
Yes.
Everyone will start fighting against each other?
Yes, exactly.
So at first, they will fight against each other?
Yes.
And us?
We will be outside of it, but then everyone will come against us. They will unite and come against us.
Okay, fine. We'll see, okay?
It's like he doesn't know this is the Messiah.
Speak into the microphone. Speak into the microphone.
Yes, yes, he is an important person, a great person. What's that? I have no idea. I don't know. I only know that he has no sins. He doesn't commit any sins at all. He's a great man. And when he becomes the Messiah, everyone will be very, very surprised that it's him. He was secular. He was secular.
Messiah, he says it's someone who must have repented. He is a person who is sinless, and everyone knows him.
Yes.
And it will be a surprise.
It will be a surprise that it's him.
Wait, slowly, slowly. We want to continue a little more with what you are saying, what you saw in the future. So, gentlemen, we have started to understand a few things. First of all, it all started on September 11th. The War of Gog and Magog started.
World War III.
It seems to be small until some event causes an all-out war to start. That will be the final sign. At first, we will not be involved in that war, but after that, everyone will unite against us.
Yes.
And they will fight us because they want Jerusalem.
Yes.
And now you say, you think, you just said that, but not in chronological order. I'm trying to make some order here. They'll fight against us, and the army will hold out for 2 days?
It will hold out for 2 days, that's all.
And after that, no army?
No army, finished.
And then they come in?
They come in.
They kidnap people?
They kidnap people, they kill them.
They kill people?
Rockets, missiles, you name it.
Wait. Now we get to the part about the rockets and missiles.
Yes.
I heard about that from a lot of sources, and there is also a prophecy that talks about a nuclear bomb.
A nuclear bomb, but the bomb will be small, not large, and God will just stop it in the sky, and it won't fall.
You mean they will fire a nuclear bomb at us, and God will freeze it in the sky?
He will freeze it in the sky, and after a few weeks it will fall. But it will only fall on 2 cities, Tel Aviv and Haifa.
The nuclear bomb will only fall on those 2 cities?
Yes, those 2 cities.
Okay, and now they come in and conquer?
They totally conquer, really conquer everything.
And they get as far as?
They actually get all the way to Jerusalem.
To Jerusalem?
But Jerusalem will be a refuge, like whoever wants to be saved, only in Jerusalem. But the war will also be there. So whoever is worthy will be protected, and whoever doesn't will not. Whoever observes the Torah and does good deeds and such, he will be saved.
So the righteous ones who are outside of Jerusalem, will they come here and be saved?
They will come here and be saved.
And the wicked, evil people in Jerusalem will not be saved? That means it isn't the place, but it's the person.
It's the person.
It's his actions.
Yes.
And then the Mount of Olives splits.
It splits in 2.
And the Messiah stands there.
The Messiah stands at the opening, yes.
And he doesn't judge people based on their clothing.
He does not judge clothing. He judges the inside of a person. He knows what is inside every single person, their inner selves, and who they truly are.
There is a verse that says he will judge with smell. He smells the fear of God and knows who you are. So he comes in, and when anyone else comes in, what is there? A security gate?
Something like that. A security gate. Exactly. After that, what happens is, I didn't tell you what I saw that will happen. After the Mount of Olives splits in 2, whoever is worthy will go in. But whoever does not, God will come. He himself will come. He will be in a robe. He will be in a robe, just a huge robe. And on the robe will be bloodstains. The bloodstains are from all the Jews who died in all the generations of Israel, who the Gentiles killed.
Only because they were Jews?
Only because they were Jews, yes. God will come and take revenge on all the Gentiles. I know that there is also a verse about that. He will read that verse too, which says, O God of vengeance, render to the haughty their recompense. So I knew that this verse, that's about this. You should know that I knew all of this up there.
Good. Now, I'll just ask one question about the Gentiles. God will have vengeance on the Gentiles. Do you know how?
What will happen is it will happen in only a few minutes. He will just destroy everything. I just saw it from above. Just all the buildings, everything will just fall. Every step, every wall, everything will just fall. Collapse. Suddenly everything will just collapse. It could be that. It could be that if people wake up, they will repent. There is a choice. But right now, what I saw happen is what is. Right now, we have the worst case.
Nathan, I want to read to you and to the congregation a prophecy from Ezekiel 38. You say mountains fall, and you also mention the word step.
Yes, steps. All the steps, buildings, everything, but only in specific places. But if there are places where there are righteous people, that thing won't happen. The steps and walls won't fall.
Will it only be in Israel or everywhere in the world?
Everywhere in the world.
Everywhere in the world. So the prophet says, all the creeping things that creep upon the earth, and all the men who are upon the surface of the earth shall quake, and all the mountains shall be thrown down, and the cliffs, the word is also read steps, shall fall to the ground.
Really? Is that what is written?
Yes, does it fit? Does it fit?
Yes.
אז אפשר לשאול שאלה? דוגמה, בראש שנה דוגמה הולכים לאומה, לא יודע, רבי נח, כאילו אומרים שמציל את הנשמות וכל זה, כאילו, יש דבר כזה, כאילו, שאתה אומר שהמשיח כאילו יסנן אנשים, כאילו, הצדיק הזה כאילו מציל את, כאילו, איך זה הולך?
He saves people. Like, if he's the Messiah, he isn't the Messiah for nothing.
אומרים שמישהו הולך לזה, הצדיק מציל אותו, רבי נחמן, דוגמה, באומה.
I don't know what you...
לא, אני שואל פשוט מישהו אמר לי לשאול, אבל אני אומר... מי שבא לאומה, כאילו, מצילים אותו מן החטא,
Whoever goes to Uman is saved?
צדיקים מגנים על אנשים, כאילו, כשהמשיח יבוא.
It depends which people.
מי שתפס את העניין ברצינות, אתה אומר.
Yes.
That is to say, the general rule is like this. It doesn't matter where you live or where you go. The only thing it depends upon is what you do.
Yes, and after that war, many people will die. I don't know exactly. To tell you the exact number, do you know?
Nobody knows.
A lot will die, millions of Jews. In the same amount, exactly the number of Gentiles will die. The exact number of Gentiles will die as the number of Jews. And who won't die from among the Gentiles, who will be worthy to remain? Those who kept the 7 laws of Noah, and the Jews who observe the Torah in good deeds and all. And that will only be the beginning. What will happen is just like...
So wait, Nathan, slowly. We have Gog and Magog, which has already begun.
Yes, it's already begun.
We have the downfall. They conquer us and get Jerusalem, and the Mount of Olives splits.
Yes.
Whoever enters the Mount of Olives, that essentially protects him.
Yes.
It protects him, and then God appears, and he is the one who fights the Gentiles.
Yes.
You say that he comes wearing a white robe with bloodstains, and those bloodstains are in fact the bloodstains of all the Jews who were killed only because they were Jews over all the generations.
Yes.
The destruction of the first temple, the destruction of the second temple, the Inquisition, there is no lack.
No lack.
And now God avenges them and just wipes them out.
He wipes them out.
And he makes a grave for Obama there.
In Israel.
In Israel.
Here in Israel, yes.
Okay, now what's the next phase?
The next phase, the redemption will begin, but it will only be in the beginning. It will take time until everything begins. First of all, there will be lots and lots of bodies, and it will take time, a long time until they remove all the bodies. That light that I told you was up there, it will descend. It will be brought down, and that will be our light, like we can see light now. What? It depends who. Yes, most of the Jews will die. What?
Again, it doesn't matter where you are. It matters what you do.
It doesn't matter where you are. It matters what you do. What? The Gentiles will come here. Whoever is here is here. Whoever isn't, isn't. Everyone is on their own, if they stay outside of Israel. What? If they obeyed the Torah and good deeds, then yes. And if not, then no. If they are wicked, then no.
Gentlemen, this is a mistake. It's not where a person lives. It's like if someone comes here to Jerusalem from another country and eats in a steakhouse, and I tell him, listen, that steak isn't kosher. He asks me, then why is it served here in Jerusalem? It's not where you are. It's not that you live in Jerusalem, it's kosher, and if you live in Jerusalem, you are righteous. You can also be righteous in other countries. God doesn't check here. He doesn't do geography tests, but God checks what you do here. He takes the account of each person and every person and checks it. Whoever has earned merit will be saved. Whoever is guilty will not. So that means nothing here will help. They take an x-ray of you and they look at it, who you are. If you are okay with the Torah and good deeds, you remain. And it doesn't matter where you are. If you aren't okay, a wicked person can be condemned from Kotel and a righteous person can be saved in New York. God, maybe Nathan doesn't remember this, but we know it, that God will gather everyone and bring him here. And whoever is worthy, he will remain alive and will eventually come here. And whoever is not will be lost. The Ramak also wrote about this, that whoever is stiff-necked, he will be lost. So don't rely on a place or not on jewelry or anything. You simply need to consider one thing. Do you study the Torah, obey the commandments, and do good or not? That's it. That's the criteria. Do you understand? Wait, move on, slowly. 1 second.
1 second, 1 second.
Slow down. We want to make order here. Because otherwise everything will get out of control. So God comes here and fights and eliminates all the Gentiles. And after, it will take time. Why? In order to clean up everything. So I want to show you another verse about after God fights the battle of Gog and Magog. And it shall come to pass on that day that I will give Gog a place there as a grave in Israel. And there they shall bury Gog and all his hordes, and they shall call it the valley of Haman Gog. In 7 months shall the house of Israel be burying them in order to purify the land. It will take time to purify the land, because afterwards we will be getting into the laws of impurity and purity, the impurity of the dead, something we are not accustomed to dealing with today. With God's help it will be. And then we will need to purify the entire country. Yes, to purify the whole country of the bodies. Because also, based on the sages, the body of a non-Jew is also impure according to the sages. Here we will, with God's help, be receiving the holy temple, the Messiah, and the complete redemption. And therefore it will take time to purify it. Because the numbers of soldiers who will come here, this isn't a terror cell. It's not clashes with terrorists. Based on what I understand and based on what you were telling us, this is something very huge. You need to understand, just to gather up all of North Korea and the United States and Russia, that's enough. And, of course, I am not even mentioning Iran and all the Arab countries that will get involved. Do you understand what numbers are going to be here? It's an amount that the great and undefeatable IDF within 2 days will be defeated. That's it. No more army. 2 days, that's it. There will be no army, no IDF, no nothing. There won't be anything. And they will just take a morning run and it'll be over. For what we are a tiny speck on the map. They are already surrounding us. God has already brought them here. They are already in Syria. The Americans are in Syria. The Russians are in Syria. Everybody is there. And when it turns against us, heaven forbid, they will have no problem forming a coalition against us. And that's it. So what can we do? Do you remember when 150 Syrian citizens just crossed the border from the Syrian border and entered the country and nobody noticed them? And before they noticed and chased them and deported them, one of them had already reached Tel Aviv without a weapon. 150 civilians crossed the border and nobody noticed. Imagine if it was 1 million, 2 million soldiers.
More
than that. They will cover the entire country. They'll come down here around Jerusalem, just the soldiers alone with their personal weapons, their personal equipment. All around will be a forest of soldiers, all around here. Only one thing will save us: the Torah and deeds of kindness. What will save us? The prophet says here that the Mount of Olives will split and we will run to it. We will run. We will suddenly know how to run very well. Even those who have trouble running and they have no strength and they are tired, suddenly they will run very well to the Mount of Olives. And then the Mount of Olives will split and the Messiah will usher in whoever is worthy. But who is worthy of protection and who will receive that protection? Only someone who observed the Torah and good deeds and kindness. Did you study the Torah? The Torah in order to observe, learn, and fulfill all of the commandments themselves. If you don't study, how will you know how to observe the commandments if you don't study? You want to fulfill a commandment, you need to first learn how it's done. And I have been saying this for years, and it pains my heart that during the Feast of Tabernacles, I go to a lot of places, I see people come home from work tired, and they want to build a tabernacle. They build a tabernacle because they want a tabernacle. But unfortunately, the tabernacle is invalid. Why is it invalid? Because they never learned the basic laws for building a tabernacle. That's all. So you learn in order to repent. It happens in a second.
called Gog and Magog, that war. All of Israel must repent and unite. I also knew that the reason God does this, if you notice, every time there was a terror attack in Israel, when a lot of people die and all, suddenly the whole nation comes together. Everyone is sad, everyone. You know that God does these bad things in order to wake us up. Sooner or later, he will bring this big thing down on us so that everyone will repent. Like everyone. Because the instant something happens to someone from Israel, everyone unites. He does things like this all the time. Things like this. But nobody knows that it's a sign from heaven. So he's bringing something huge, gigantic, so that everyone will repent. So that everyone will unite. So yes, we need to unite. No.
He was never in Jewish school.
I think...
Well, we have a videographer here, a professional. We will, with God's help, make a disc, and it will go up and be distributed. And we will publicize it in every manner that is possible, God will.
World.
He encircles the entire world. Are you going to call the police on him? No.
The world is this small next to him. The world is like this. You don't see him. It's impossible to see him.
So who will save you from this? The Holy One? He will save us. But the blessed Lord says, I will save you, but I am a king who loves justice and righteousness. Bring the Torah, bring serious observance of the commandments, and I will save. So he is sentenced to death. And the death is eternal death. A person who is executed here, we learn from Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai, who said that he cried before he died. He said that if it had been a flesh and blood king, I would go to him and I could bribe him. But what can I use to bribe God? And if a flesh and blood king kills me, so I was sentenced to death, and I earn a place in the next world. I am going to God. I have the Garden of Eden. But if it's the blessed Lord who sentences me to death, where will I go afterwards? It's eternal death. And that is what a man must take to heart to think about. Does he meet those criteria, or does he not meet those criteria? God judges him and gives him opportunities more and more and more to repent, to fix your actions. At least be serious about this. Get a hold of yourself. Take this seriously. Stop thinking that it's nothing, that it isn't anything, and that I didn't do anything. That isn't right. That isn't right. Here he explains, and many others explain, on every second of your life you will be forced to give an account. Gentlemen, these things only strengthen what our sages say. Our sages say that God will demand of every single person until, Job says, until I swallow my spit. You will even give an account for that. The Gaon of Vilna says, why an accounting? Judgment for the act and an accounting. How many good deeds could you have done in that one moment that you didn't do anything? Evil gossip is something very serious. Evil gossip, the Talmud in Tractate Erekim on page 15 says, anyone who speaks evil gossip, God says to the minister of hell, I above and you below, we will judge him together. Evil gossip, once again here, you need to learn the laws of evil gossip. But sometimes, yes, it is an evil person, or to caution the public about him. There are conditions. I won't go into all those right now. In the Torah, everything is permitted and everything is forbidden. There is nothing that is fully permitted. There is nothing that is fully forbidden. Everything is permitted and everything is forbidden. Any example that you give me, any commandment that you give me, I will tell you when it is permitted and I will tell you when it is forbidden. Anything that you tell me is forbidden, I will tell you when it's permitted. Everything we learn, it's every good deed. It is only permitted